Hey guys, welcome back to this series on my new to me CLK55 AMG. On the last video, we tackled the wash and the wheels. So if you haven't seen that yet, make sure to go back and watch that guy. Today we're going to be covering the engine, cleaning the exhaust pipe, kind of more in-depth details on areas that are still dirty on the car. So if you want to come a little closer, we'll inspect this engine and see what what we have to deal with today. Now this is an awesome engine. It's a 5.5 liter V8 hand built by AMG in Germany. It has 362 horsepower and around 400 foot-pounds of torque. It's a really big engine for a small car like this. AMG has great pride in their engines and they make amazing engines. They have so much pride in them that each person that hand built their engine signs it on the actual engine. So we know the name of the person who built this particular M113. This overall kind of like silverish engine cover looks to be in pretty good condition. Kind of like the exterior paint, it doesn't really show a lot of dirt just because of the color of it, but you have a lot of these other black pieces, and whether it be metal, whether it be plastic, around the car that show a lot of dirt and grime. I'm not sure when the last time this engine bay was cleaned, but it's probably been quite a while. So as this is the first kind of detail that we're doing on the engine bay ever that we know of, we're gonna want to take specific steps to minimize our chances of scratching and swirling. So what we're gonna be doing first is knocking out all this heavy dirt and debris, this sort of thing. We're gonna be taking that out as step number one, and then we'll go in with some soap, some water, some brushes, stuff like that. So let's get started. We're gonna start off by knocking off all that main dirt and debris with my vacuum and a brush, and then we'll go in and foam it up like I said. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm going to be using Nonsense all-purpose cleaner today to clean my engine bay. This is a dilutable all-purpose cleaner that works on virtually any surface. So what's great about that is I really only need one cleaner to clean my entire engine bay. This one product is going to be great for the plastic surfaces in my engine bay, the metal surfaces, and also the rubber surfaces in my engine bay. It really simplifies the detailing process, and that's why this is one of my favorite products. Along with Nonsense, I'm going to be using the All in the Details brush set. What's great about this brush set is it actually comes in packs of 3. So there's a slimmer one for those really tight and intricate areas, then there's a medium sized one, and then there's a really fat, thick one that's great for covering larger surface areas. And in between that brush set and the Nonsense, I'm going to be able to pretty much cover every single surface in my engine bay. So the reason why I'm using the All in the Details brush in conjunction with my Nonsense is because I really want to agitate the surface. Now this engine, because it hasn't been cleaned in quite a while, the dust and debris isn't just sitting on the surface, it's kind of baked and stuck onto the rubber, the plastic, the metal of the engine bay, so it's not going to come off with just a quick wipe. What needs to happen is it needs to be agitated with that brush to really loosen all that stuck on grime before I can wipe it off. So as you guys can see, I'll be moving that brush back and forth and working the dust and debris off of the surface before I wipe it off. All right guys, so next up on our list is going to be cleaning these dual exhausts down here on the back of the CLK55. These are really cool design. You see they're staggered and they're branded with the AMG logo, which is super cool because Mercedes AMG, they take the time to really hammer out all these little details and show their attention to all the small stuff. What you guys have to remember is that at one point in time when this car was new, it was $70,000. So, you know, the customers, when they pay that much, they're expecting little intricate details like this. So what we're gonna do is bring them back to their former glory now. It's kind of like, I would say, a 3-step process. First, we're gonna be using our P40 quick detailer just to knock off any loose grime and debris that's still on the exhaust pipes. And then we're gonna be using our metal polish to clean the exterior of the exhaust pipes by hand. I'm just going to be using a soft workhorse microfiber applicator to work around the tips there. And then finally, we're going to be using our ball buster to go deep inside the exhaust pipes because, as you can see, they're quite black. They're not supposed to be that black. I don't think they have ever been cleaned if I were to take a guess. Alrighty, so let's get started. All right, guys, so we just finished with the ball buster, and it looks like it did a really great job at removing all the embedded grime and debris that's been staining those exhaust pipes. It looks like these exhaust pipes are so old and haven't been cleaned in such a long time that there's still some residue around here that just is so deep that we're gonna have to go one step more aggressive, which is totally fine because I have my HexLogic applicator pad. I was prepared. So what this is a hand applicator orange HexLogic pad. It actually has a little bit of cut in it, so if you guys were here with me and you were to squeeze it, you would see that it's kind of hard to squeeze, and that's because it is gonna cut into the grime and debris here to remove it. This is also a pad that you could use on your paint, like it works great for door handles and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put some heavy metal polish onto the applicator pad, spread it around a little bit, and then get to work. Alright guys, so we just finished up wrapping up the detail on the exhaust pipes. I think they look really great. I'm really happy with how they turned out, but one thing that a point I do want to make is the importance of maintenance. So these exhaust pipes haven't been cleaned in probably, let's see if this is a 2004, probably 16 years ever since the car was new. That means that a lot of the oxidation, the pollutants, all that nasty stuff that the big 5.5 liter engine generates has not only kind of stuck onto the exhaust pipe, it's actually embedded and like fused with the metal. So that stuff isn't coming off no matter what you do. But if certain preventative steps were taken throughout the life of the car, we would have never had to deal with this in the first place. So remember, it's much easier just to give your exhaust pipes a quick wipe down with a quick detailer, a waterless wash, something like that once a month, than kind of waiting till the very end of the lifetime of the car and then dealing with these crazy fused, stuck on pollutants, contaminants, grime and stuff like that. Just a little quick pro tip for you guys when you guys are kind of going about your daily lives. Keep that in mind. It's one of the easy ways that you could life hack keeping your car clean. But anyway, now that we have these looking great, we're going to move on to some other areas of the car, starting with the trunk. All right, guys, so next up on our list is going to be all the cracks and crevices on the Mercedes. We already gave it a quick wash, a foam wash, and it looks great from the outside, but when I pop the trunk, you see all of this dirt and grime is revealed on the inside. It's pretty crazy how much is actually hidden in there. These are just areas that people typically don't clean in detail, so it just builds up and kind of sits there and sets in. Another reason why it probably collects right here is because it's almost like a little drain area. So when it rains and when water gets on the car, it kind of collects right here. It falls down due to gravity in the shape of the glass, and then collects right here, runs down here, and then finally exits down the bottom of the car. But as you can see, it's pretty dirty. So as you can see, this is a real life situation. This is what my trunk actually looks like. It's pretty dirty. We need to clean it. I have old stuff in here from college. Bunch of random junk. This is kind of funny. I didn't know I had this in here, but this is a Pagani. So what's funny about this car, this is a Wyra. This car is actually powered by an AMG V12. So you can see the little AMG logo right there. That's because it has a, I believe, like a 6 or 7 liter twin turbo AMG V12 that powers this supercar, and this is Horatio Pagani's signature. I had him sign this poster a few years ago when I was in Monterey, I believe. So it's kind of funny it's in here. It's a very old poster, probably from 5 or 6 years ago or so. But the fact that it's, this car is powered by AMG and we're right here with an AMG is pretty funny. So I'm just gonna clean the rest of this stuff out of the trunk, and then we'll get started cleaning all this this other junk. So let's do that. You know what else is funny that I just saw, you guys? All this stuff is from my storage. I cleaned my storage out a little while ago. I have old magazines from Road and Track. This is probably like 1995. The date is covered. Where's the date? Oh, June 1997. So this is Ferrari's 50th anniversary. So you have a 550 Maranello right here, and then you have a 250 GTO. Pretty funny. An old Porsche Boxer on the back. Jaguar XJ220, Bugatti EB110. A lot of old stuff from my storage that we are going to move out and then clean. So I'm going to be using Nonsense again and my All in the Details brush to clean that area of my trunk that has all that caked on grime. Much like how I cleaned the engine bay, I'm going to be spraying Nonsense first and then using the All in the Details brush to agitate that dirt and grime off the surface. As you guys can see, it's pretty caked on there, so I'm going to be liberally spraying Nonsense and then moving that brush back and forth and then wiping it with a towel. When I'm done with that, I'm going to use the Pro Blow to shoot air into those channels to really get out all that stuck in spent Nonsense cleaner so I don't encounter any other time. I think what happens is if you don't do this, sometimes you think you got it all with your towel, but then you drive away and you'll see those streaks running down. That's what I don't want to encounter here. So I'm going to be using the Pro Blow to blow out all the remaining spent Nonsense cleaner. All right guys, so next on the list is going to be these door jambs. This is an area that a lot of people forget to detail, forget to clean, and the last owner of this car was no exception. I don't know when the last time they were cleaned. They're not that bad, but they're definitely a little dusty, and it's definitely an eyesore every time I try to get into my car. So we're going to be using Nonsense, our all-purpose cleaner, to go ahead and clean it right here inside the door jamb, and then also on the door, the actual door as well. So it's pretty easy. I'm just going to give it a few good sprays. Clean off a little overspray. Luckily, Nonsense is safe for all surfaces, including leather, so my leather seats just got a little extra clean. And then I'm just going to go through and hit all the little cracks and crevices, get my towel in there, wipe, wipe. This is a cool little feature. Mercedes took the time to let you know that you're getting into AMG every single time you get into your car. I really appreciate that. It makes activities, basic activities like going to the grocery store fun. It makes your car seem a little more special. Right. just a few seconds and it already looks so much better. So now that this is done right here, I'm going to move on to the physical door itself. So if you guys look right here, you'll see some dust, debris, some hairs, random stuff like that. So I'm just going to do the same thing, squirt my nonsense all over, and then just go ahead and wipe it off. And guys, talking about details again, look at this little chrome plate right here. Mercedes didn't have to do that at all. It's totally 100% unnecessary, but it looks so awesome. They took the time, the money, and the money to, actually design that and make it look great. And I really appreciate stuff like that. So guys, just because you can't see down here doesn't mean I'm not going to clean it. I'm going to come all the way down here and hit this as well. No one will ever see this, not even me. But I do want this car to be totally clean because it deserves it. So there we go. Cool, so now that that's done, we can hit it with a dressing later when we're hitting up the entire interior. We'll just move on to the other door, the passenger door. All right guys, so that wraps up the detail for today. We detailed some key parts of the AMG. We hit the engine, which is definitely a core component of this car. We hit the inside of the doors, the door sills, the trunk, basically any part on this car that opens or flings or swings we cleaned. Next step is going to be the paint, the interior, the ceramic coating, the leather conditioner, all that fun stuff. We still have to polish the wheels. I can't wait for that. So make sure you're subscribed, and then we'll see you next time.